What the
I'm ready.
Friday?
Wait a minute. Let me adjust my stuff.
Your bra straps? Mine are always falling off or too tight or
I don't think women realize how much they do that.
I don't think so. I think it's the equivalent of ball scratching.
Yeah, I don't do that a lot in public, but I noticed that
My
a lot of
generation
guys, it's shock. Yeah, your
my
generation of
generation does it
males
a lot.
can't keep their hands off their balls.
I wonder I am really curious about this. Like, did some rapper do it in a video or at some point they went, "Oh, that's cool?" And why is
I
it so
don't know.
universal? Because it wasn't just it's from my high school. I remember in high school, the boys were always scratching their balls.
Yeah, that wasn't that way when I was in high school. Yeah, you don't touch your stuff.
You know what? I think it might be you don't exfoliate them. I
Oh,
really
that's a
mean
topic unto itself.
I really mean that because you don't I don't
Penis
do
and testicle exfoliation.
testicle
That's what
exfoliate.
we've been doing all this time. Who knew?
That's what you're missing. I think it's part of it. I think you gotta exfoliate and moisturize the balls. I think that is essential. But you don't think about it. You know what I mean? There's actually PSA. There's
There are a lot of guys out there going, well, how would that be any different than what I'm doing now?
now let me tell you. You Google Japanese plastic washcloth because I don't remember what it's called, but I have one.
Why would anybody Google Japanese?
Because I
What?
tell them to. So Zach gave everybody in the building Japanese these they're like made out of plastic. They're antimicrobial washcloths that are these long things.
Uh-huh.
They won a invention of the year, whatever year they were made. They're really long. They exfoliate and they don't smell or keep bacteria or anything. Exactly like that. So I think for
Ouch, ouch,
yeah.
ouch, 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 ouch.
Yeah, I think it would help. I think it would help. I actually think that would be
I'll
it.
pass.
And then slather on some lotion before you pop on those boxer briefs, and you're good. No more ball scratching. Welcome to What the
Fascinating.
Friday with Bill and Morgan Birch, father and daughter, with a conservative
And the
Christian background that we've clearly forgotten.
so, what'd you call it? Japanese what?
I know it's Japanese. I know it's plastic. I know it's
So
antibacterial.
just Google Japanese, you'll find it.
Japanese plastic antimicrobial washcloth. I'm going to see if it comes right up. I bet it will. It does
No
not.
pun intended.
It does not. Oh, I found it. It's I found it. I found it. I found a knockoff. So just Google what I just said to Google and you'll find something that'll help your balls.
If it's an issue for you.
Yeah. I don't know how my brain works, but I was thinking about
Nobody else does either.
I know. Divorce. So it's not. I don't know how this is attached, but divorce. I was watching. Brad Pitt is suing Angelina Jolie, because they own a vineyard. Well, he still owns half of it, and it like grew exponentially, and then she sold her shares in it
Uh-huh.
to a Russian oligarch. But they had an agreement that neither of them would sell shares without the other one's consent. And so she sold them. And so now
Uh-oh.
Brad Pitt is suing her for not getting his consent and believes that she did it, at least according to the lawsuit. So to cause
Maliciously?
some kind of harm, some legal word harm. Like her intent was to lash out at him. And I was thinking about, I just think, and it made me spiral into this whole thought process of like, relationships, breakups, and divorce are so wild because this person you would die for, because you would die for them once they wrong you in your own mind, it like can turn so sour. And you're like, I once wanted to die for you, but now I just want you to die painfully
Yeah.
and slowly.
Yeah. It's sad. It just goes to show how soft the human species is. But
Soft. What do you
if
mean?
it's just
I think
Oh, we're just
we're
stupid.
poor
People are
communicators.
stupid. Yeah, that too. That's one of the many things that we're
I think we're
not nearly as good at
especially
as we
bad
think
at
we are.
confrontation now because you
Okay.
because you can avoid it, and I think confrontation is the key
Ah,
to peace. You have to if you nip things in the
okay.
bud, right? Like, if I'm afraid of confrontation, I will wait until I'm about to burst before I say something is
Well,
wrong. But if I'm not afraid
right.
of it, then as soon as something feels a little off, I go, "Something feels a little off to me. Does it feel off to
So
you?"
who's most afraid of confrontation? Angelina Jolie or Brad Pitt?
Oh. Huh.
Pick one.
Okay. Okay.
TikTok, TikTok.
For fun, I would say,
Yep.
I would have said Brad Pitt before this story, but now that this story is out, I would say Angelina Jolie,
If it's true, but
if
who
it's
knows?
true,
I
right.
don't. I don't blame him because if you take the divorce thing off of
Yeah,
it,
just from a
if
purely
I'm a business
business yeah.
if I'm a business partner with somebody, I'm a business partner with them because I want to be I'm a partner with them,
Yes, yeah, yeah,
not with anybody.
yeah.
You know, it, and if they just suddenly they flippantly, I have a different business partner,
Mhm,
especially if it's equal.
uh
I have no idea what the story is here at all, but if they're
I
equal
didn't read a
shares,
whole I just
that's
read the basics.
that's like a nightmare.
Mhm.
But how movie-esque is that? You said Russian oligarch?
I know. It felt very like, okay, did she deliberately choose the person who
Mhm.
would most irritate him? Because
Yeah, I wonder what that conversation was like. Did they make that deal over dinner?
Oh, Angelina Jolie and the Russian oligarch?
Yeah.
God, she's so classy though, and she's so beautiful.
I I don't know if she is.
I just mean in the way she
No,
looks.
beautiful. Don't get me wrong, the way she looks, yeah.
The way she looks.
But
I
in
don't know if her
function,
personality yeah.
you know, the stuff that and you don't know if the stuff you see is true because
Well,
frankly,
and
I don't think 100% of anything we see is true.
accurate. True, because even in
Anyway,
person, 100% of the stuff we see isn't true. Like, if I meet you in
but
person, it's still not a clear
true.
picture. Also, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt are actors who have intensely studied how to be charming on top of being naturally charming. So, there was this interview with Conan O'Brien Conan was interviewing Russell Brand, okay? And Russell Brand and Conan is talking about some celebrity who's having a lot of drama, and
Yeah.
Conan says, "You know, I interviewed him, he seemed really great." And Russell Brand goes, "Of course he seemed great. Anybody can seem great for 10 minutes. I can seem great for 10 minutes."
I really like Russell Brand.
I
He's
love
awesome.
he is the best journalist currently out there, which is wild. What time are we living in that I'm like, Russell Brand is the best
You
journalist
think?
of our time?
You know,
Yeah.
I
Have you seen his
I
videos?
thought he was. Yeah, I've been watching his videos a little bit more. When he seems he's a he okay, I'm going to be critical of Russell Brand.
Okay,
He
do it.
which is not good to do because he'll see this. I know that he follows everything that I do and he'll be on me like a fly on shit. So,
Yes,
he's
or him in
he's
the '90s on
he's
cocaine.
getting a little bit into the conspiratorial thing, which also Joe Rogan is doing. I think
Joe
they're
Rogan's
both kind of
always been conspiratorial.
yeah, but he's just like dipping a little further and maybe I'm just seeing more of it.
I think
I'm
you're just
becoming
seeing
more
more of
sensitive to
it
it.
because he has I mean, Alex Jones is one of his good friends, and he's had Alex Jones on the podcast since the beginning of the podcast, the king of conspiracies, and Eddie
Okay.
Bravo. Yeah.
He needs
Anyway,
to have
yes.
Johnny Bravo on his podcast.
Please go
Yeah,
as
mama.
John. Please go as Johnny Bravo this year. Get a, like, a plastic orange wig,
Wouldn't that be the
one
best
that's just like
costume ever?
this, and
And
then you
big
with the black
shoulders,
t-shirt,
big shoulder
just
pads.
just big pads, just big shoulder pads, like football pads. You should definitely do
Mhm.
that. I think you should definitely please do that. Hey, your mama.
That's funny.
Best one of the
Anyway,
best cartoons of all time, I think.
I think
Johnny
so.
Bravo.
I really
Pretty
like Johnny Bravo,
underrated too.
probably for good reason, but if I really liked it, it does not surprise me.
I don't know. I feel like you've got great taste. But maybe that's because we have really similar taste.
That could be.
I've become my taste is more like more and more like you. You know how people say women are like
That's
they
sad.
you become your mother and men they become their father? I think I'm becoming my father. Especially because Dan is very similar to mom in a lot of personality ways, and it
It may
really
work that way.
highlights how similar I am to you. I'm like, "Oh god, I'm becoming my father." Like, I
Well,
now I wanna watch choose action movies over any other kind of movie now. But in high school, it would've been romance, so I don't know when that switched, but now I'm like,
because you've got plenty of romance in your life as it is now, and
"That's
you don't
right."
need to go outside of your marriage life for that, or whatever you want to call your thing, your together thing.
My married life. I've been dating him for 4 months.
So what's the problem?
I know, well, we move at breakneck pace. The joke that his friends have is we're on lesbian time. We, like, we met, he wooed me, and then we were like, "Alright, let's move in."
How is that? How is that lesbian time? I don't get that. Are you
It's
saying that lesbians tend to move pretty fast in the
yes.
early parts of the
Ask
relationship?
Jack. Jack said that about us too. Jack yeah, yeah, she's like, "That's just what happens with women. If there are 2 women, almost always it's like, hey, we get along pretty well. Let's be married now." Like, let's just super committed super quickly.
That'll be interesting to see if anybody watches this, and if
Uh-huh.
they happen to be lesbians. I'd
Yeah.
love to know if they agree with that or not.
Yeah, I would too because almost
I think it would be the
everyone who's ever
opposite for
talked about it
men.
has said that. Yeah,
I think gay males
generally.
would be like, "We can do that tomorrow." Yep.
Yeah,
I'm not
take
in a
their
hurry.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah. Take
whatever.
their time, no
I'll
rush.
keep some stuff both places. I'm not in a hurry.
I don't know why what it is about the 2 of us that happened, but some kind of
Good click.
codependent personality
I like
style.
Dan. How many
I
times
know.
have I said that?
I know, I love that that's your catchphrase. "I like Dan."
I like that. I've always
When
liked
I
Dan.
was on the fence and I was like, "I don't know about this. I don't know," you'd be like, "Well, I like Dan." "Well, I like him." And I don't think you said that about anybody else I've dated. You've never been like, "I really like him. I like him a lot." So, you are in large part responsible for us dating.
Oh, hope it's not my fault.
If it's bad, you mean?
If it's bad, yeah, if it's great, yeah.
Yeah. You
You have
can
to
just
save that attitude for your 25th wedding anniversary, and if it's still working out, then I'll take credit.
okay.
It's like, okay, okay, 25
How
years
old
later.
would you be? Okay, let's say I got married to Dan in 2 years. That's 27
Well, it
years from
depends.
now.
Do you count the years after you die?
77 is how old you would be, right? No, 87.
No, 87.
You would be 87 at my 25th wedding
If you
anniversary.
got no, I'm turning 60, so if I got married right now, I'd be 85
No, but I'm saying if I got married in 2 years.
in 2 years. Okay, 87. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of that, what do you think about weddings?
A lot of pomp and circumstance with a room full of people going, I wonder if this will last. But the dinner's great.
Do you like to attend them? Do you think they're overrated?
Um, I don't know. I haven't been to a wedding for quite a while. You kind of do that in phases, you know.
All
It's
your
like,
friends get married and then they don't.
yeah, you and your friends get married, so you're going to each other's weddings, and then you get older. And since your mom and I have no friends, we don't go to any weddings. We actually moved away from all our friends, so what few weddings we would have had an opportunity to go to, we just didn't go to. Um,
Yes.
yeah, I don't know. I
I
think
I
I think it's up to you. You can turn it into a great experience.
well, I got
Um,
2 okay, so Jim Gaffigan talks about makes fun
who
of
is
them.
Jim Gaffigan?
Jim Gaffigan,
Um,
the comedian?
yeah,
He's like one of the most famous comedians in the world.
yeah. You know what? Whoever is your top list of 5 comedians at that time, they are the most famous comedians in the world. I
No,
don't track
that's
the same
not
comedians you
true.
do.
I say one of the best comedians in the world, but right now I'm saying one of the most famous. He's
And
what?
this is one of Morgan's traits that's just like mine, which is I'll find a way not to be wrong here. I am
That's
not wrong.
true. I am not wrong, and I have a very well structured argument to to prove that.
Structuring right now. Like,
It's fun. I mean, you trained me to do it.
that's
I
right.
kind of miss it. I don't have a lot of opportunities to do that in my life, and I'm, like, wondering
A
where
lot of
else
people don't tolerate it.
people don't like it
Of
generally. It's
course
a
not, yeah.
very lawyer I mean, it's a lawyer thing. It's a great way to be if you're a lawyer, to
Mhm.
think on your feet and be able to respond quickly to somebody's
Right.
aggressive, but only if
So,
you're a litigator.
back to the comedian.
Right,
What's his
sorry.
name?
So he has a joke he has a joke about weddings, and he says that women get to dress up as like a pretty, pretty princess and then pretend all of the people are part of their kingdom, and they get together with their chosen prince, and it's like a day to work out, a fairy tale.
Uh-huh.
And I was like,
I
"Yeah," and
think that's true.
it's true, and it's expensive, and when I was a little girl, I really wanted to get married, and the whole reason was I loved the idea of having that many people watching me. It's like,
You are
just
the lead in your own play.
exactly. I was like, "I love this." But
You
now
get to
that I'm
do all the
older,
roles.
I I feel like it's kind of stupid, but also one of the very few rituals that we have in our culture. We have a very secular culture, and I think rituals are important to humans.
Mhm.
And so I think I'm trying to figure out what would be the balance of having
And
that
why is
that
this a topic of conversation?
because lesbian time. Well, what do you think would be fun to talk about?
Size of my boobs.
The size of your boobs. You think
Yep.
you're a B cup now? You're still an A. You're
Not
tiny.
quite. Still an A, I think. I'm still trying to learn to enjoy them. I mean, I like fondle them a little bit, but I'm just not getting anything out of it.
Damn.
It's boring.
Are your nipples
That's the question.
sensitive?
Um,
I think all
I don't
men's
think
nipples
so.
are sensitive because you can flick. You know how you guys play that game where you flick nipples?
Well, that's different though. You know, the high speed impact of the tip of your fingernail right across the
Tip of your nipple.
perpendicular edge of your nipple is a totally different thing. You know, you don't
Um,
do that. I don't do that when I'm like, um, I don't. Guys would not do that when they're dating, and they certainly wouldn't do it when they got married, unless they just want to make their wife mad for fun. But that's a challenge. That's a challenge for everybody that's out there married. When your wife's laying there with no clothes on, and she's on her back and
oh my
asleep,
god.
and you've got a free shot. Bam!
I like your
And
assumption that
let's see
everyone
how
sleeps naked.
sensitive they are.
Of course, after being married this long, the nipples are sticking out to the side while they're sleeping if you've given childbirth.
I think that it all depends on the size of your
Mine will be. Mine will
breastage.
be. I'm devastated. I'm really scared about it. Christina and I made a pact when we were living together. We were like, "All right, after we have children, if we have children, once we're done, we'll both go get breast reduction surgery."
There you go.
Because we both have large breasts for our frame, and we just are like, they're gonna be so bad. They're gonna be terrible. Uh,
Doctor, what's this hole that's between my breasts? That's your
hole
belly button.
between my oh, it's your belly button.
No worries, madam.
No.
This is
Oh
totally under control.
god,
Let
it's
me get a Q-tip
devastating.
and clean that baby out.
Ugh. Oh. Oh, do you wash your belly button deliberately?
Sometimes.
Or is it just like you just assume it's clean? Because I didn't wash my belly button and it's super gross and I didn't realize. And now I know better. I know. I'm sorry.
Good to know.
But now I wash it, it's super clean. Dan was like cleaning out his
This
belly
smells kind
button.
of funny.
And I was like, oh. Oh.
That's a different smell.
It was pretty bad. It was so bad.
Yeah, you just, I don't know, take a wash rag and
Yeah, I do that
Do your thing.
now. I do that now, it's part of my system.
You know what? That's a really interesting topic, that, has to do with parenting, getting married, having kids.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you really train your kids to do?
Yeah.
You know, and so that you're little, like when you were little, and we're
Yeah.
giving you a bath, we
Yeah.
would have like taken the rag and stuck our finger in the back of the rag and pushed it
Yeah.
in your belly button
But you
real
weren't
quick and
when you were
the
teaching
inside
me
of
to
your ears.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't do that, and you really don't get into the depths of personal hygiene. Like I bet a lot of guys, their dad doesn't teach them to shave.
Yeah, they just
They
kinda
just kind
figure
of
it out.
watch them and then they
I
figure it
think
out.
there's I wonder how many people don't clean their belly buttons and are gonna listen to this and be like, "Oh, let me try," and then get grossed out and clean their belly buttons from now on. I can't be the only one. Am I
I
just
would
super
I
disgusting?
I would be surprised if there were very many. It just
Shit.
seems like such a natural thing to do.
I didn't well, to be fair, I would, like, wash my stomach, but I didn't go up because you know how there's an end?
Up, no,
Yeah, you know, if you put your finger in your belly
up
button,
and up and in and up.
it's in and up.
Mine doesn't go in and up.
Mine goes in and up, and I didn't realize that. So I just like, "What?" I just didn't know until
I would have
recently.
assumed you were very self-aware that way.
I would too. That's what shocked me about it because stare at myself in the mirror so much.
Just not
I
low
wish
enough
that
to
wasn't more of
realize,
a joke. I'm just like,
"Hey, there's a hole here. I should check this out.
I
This is
should
what I'm
look
not
into
familiar
this."
with."
Yeah, I mean, I had other holes that were more interesting. I'm sorry. I regret it. I regret it. I regret it. I'm so sorry, Dad. You literally, I mean, you set me up for it. It's your own. Oh wait, the book that I sent you, Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents.
I gotta turn my light up so I don't look so flush. There. Okay. Can you see me blushing now? Can you see the red in my face?
I just sorry.
No.
Oh my
No,
god.
she didn't say that. No.
You look insane. Like you painted your face white. Like you did white face. Um, the book I sent you, Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents.
Yeah, that was a fun text to get.
I
Let me
didn't
pull that
send
up.
any
Let me share
context.
that with somebody. Let's see. So I get this text. What was it?
I sent a
Oh my,
text
I
to you
don't say. Oh
and
wait. It
mom.
was in a group chat. That's why it's different. Yeah.
To you and mom, I said, "It's just the link to the audio book."
Yeah. So out of the blue, 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Bing. Phone chimes. Oh, a text from Morgan. Cool. And what is it? It's a link to a book. Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents. What the hell? Let it
My
go, honey. Let it go.
my dad
There's
goes,
nothing we can do about
"Ouch."
it now. Let's go on. And
Oh,
I respond. That's what was my response. Ouch.
oh, I know, I went, "Why?" "Oh." I was like, "I meant your parent." Because, I don't know how much of it's gonna be applicable to you or not. Dan and I are reading it, but, um, you had a
You know what?
very unique upbringing, so I think it
I
could be
think
helpful.
all all parents are immature, all of them, and that's why
Yes.
when parents become grandparents, they're like, "This is gonna be good
Yeah.
because now show me how it's done."
Yeah.
Oh, wait, you're overwhelmed. You didn't sleep at all last night. You can't make enough money.
Right.
Your kids need clothes that you can't pay for. They're
Yeah.
not wanting to eat the food that you gave them. They got in a
Yeah.
fight with somebody, or somebody's picking
I
on them and they're
agree.
getting bullied.
I agree.
And you're like supposed to know the answers to how to deal with those questions. And you're like, your parents, and
What?
you're like, let me go talk to your mom in the other room real quick. And it's like, what do we do about this? I don't know. I don't know. What do you know? The parents are like this. Maybe we should call the parents. Maybe we should call the school. Maybe we should do this. Maybe we should give them new clothes. Maybe we should not have them in that. Maybe we should make them do that. Should we make them finish this? Because I don't know. And,
Yeah.
I'm going to put my foot down. Don't do
I
that.
think yeah, being a
Terrible.
parent matures you to some degree.
It does. That's how you get mature. You you
Oh,
use your kids as a tool to
oh my
mature.
god. That's horrible. Hopefully, you mature some before having the kids. I mean,
Yeah, it'd help. But hell,
I
some people still have their kids chained in the basement, so
oh, that's true. That's so sad and true. There's actually a dude that was on, Gary Vaynerchuk's show, like, 2 years ago, and he was one of those kids.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it was like he was just, kinda calling in, and he was explaining what he was trying to start his own business, and he was explaining his background, and Gar Gary V plus everyone listening and in the room was like, "So what? What did you just say?" Like, he
"Ah, I
was
was chained to my bed for
"Yeah,
14
I was
years."
trapped in the basement with my sisters. We weren't allowed to be out until we didn't get out and see anybody else until we were 12 or 14 or whatever age," and we were like, it was a wild story. How do you
There's
recover from
gotta
that?
be.
But
Yeah,
God bless
think
books like
about
this, you know, for helping us
because
mature.
it gets slipped into people that are that old.
No, after
Why?
that, right? Like, after
Oh,
that,
I
you
I
know you
see.
have
Oh, for the kids.
yeah, for the kids.
Alright.
Yeah. I
Well, I have
mean,
a feeling
I
a
think
lot of
that,
parents are immature.
um, I
And
think
I
yeah,
suggest do not send a link to that book to your parents without, like, some kind of a
some kind of
preamble,
context. I think it's a
something.
good book for it's been really interesting just to help empathize with, other people and recognize
I bet.
it's
You know,
really
in
eye-opening, and it's yeah, go ahead, sorry.
I was gonna say, I think all joking aside, I think
Yeah.
all parents have their areas of immaturity, and I'm sure that immaturity has impacts on kids, some in
Yeah.
a good way, some not in a good way. But I always think it's great to get even in that book, um, even if 20% of it matches. All
Yeah.
right, well, there's 20% to get a good understanding of.
Yes, because
You can never learn enough.
it's not about trying to figure out who to blame, it's trying to take responsibility for your own life and be like, "Okay, what blind spots are there?" 'Cause I
No,
have blind spots, and because by their nature,
no,
I don't know what they are, right? So I work really hard on
like
my
belly buttons.
like, belly buttons! Yes, exactly! I was kind of hoping to edit out the belly button thing, but now I can't. Ah, dang
Thanks
it!
for sharing that.
Oh, yeah, but I have blind
Nothing if
spots
not transparent.
by the I know, yeah, I have a compulsion.
Except
I
for
don't
your
know where
belly
that came
button, which
from.
has been holding out on you.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Years. I hope she doesn't see me. I hope she doesn't see me. We've gotten by this far. Oh, I'd hate to have to go through what the other orifices in her body to go through.
The Japanese exfoliation wash rag.
Keep that thing away from me. How do you invert that
I
to use it
was
on your belly button?
so mortified. I was like, I was so mortified. And when
Oh, wait,
w
wait. So,
and discover it
Japanese
with you.
exfoliating rag in one hand, long and
Uh-huh.
skinny,
Yeah.
hanging down over your belly button.
Uh-huh.
Thumb, thumb goes in belly button with exfoliating rag
If
between
you're
them,
teaching me
and
how
pull.
yeah.
Belly button clean and exfoliated.
You could just twist too. The twist method's doing great now that I know.
Well, it's long and thin for a reason. I think that's you need a third
It's not
hand though if you want to go
that
back and
thin.
forth. Either that or you have your mate hold it for you. Say, could you put your finger right here for me for just a minute?
Why would you have to pull it? Why can't you just put your finger in it and go twist, 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 twist,
Because
twist,
that's not
twist,
how
twist?
you use the Japanese exfoliating
Yes,
rag. It's long and
it
thin for a reason. So
Hey,
that you could put it between your legs and go like this and it would clean your
it's for
stuff.
that's one of many angles from which you can use it. It's to give you more
Always to be used
versatility.
like this. I don't think you can use it
Only
any other way.
imagine washing
Warranty
your
is
face like
void if
this.
you don't use
What
it that way.
imagine washing your face like this. La, 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 like a car wash. Oh my god. Anyway, I feel like we all have blind spots, and so reading books like that and looking for them helps us start to see the blind spots and get better,
Okay,
at
so
areas we didn't even need to know
so
we needed to improve.
what is a blind spot that I have that you can share that I won't get mad about?
That is so narrow. I think you
Uh,
ignore your childhood and how it affected you and the fears that it's instilled in you, and it causes you
okay,
pain to this day because of those habits. That's what I think.
that's fair.
Yeah, which is why I sent you that
Next.
book.
Okay. Well, at least it's an audiobook.
Yeah, it's great.
Reading is a weakness of mine. Changing the topic, looking at you with
Yeah,
all your books, you actually read.
I do. I haven't read much since starting dating Dan, and this week I started reading before bed again,
Hmm.
and it's so nice.
You
I
love it,
loved
yeah.
it. I loved it.
I love to buy books. I literally buy them with the idea that this time
I'm
I'm going to
reading
read
it.
it. I mean,
Yeah, me
I
too.
buy books like I go on diets. This time's for real.
That's a really good joke. Dad, that's really good. We should write that one down for a stand-up list if one day you'll do
Because
it.
I read books like I do diets.
I read books the way I do diets. This time, I'm actually gonna do it. I'm actually gonna finish
So
it.
true. I have
So
this big
true.
fat book. I don't know how I do that. And that
You
I just don't
believe
have
yeah.
any sense of self-awareness because I'm listening to something
Yeah.
and I'm like this a big investment guru type of guy has a big fat book and I'm listening to him and I'm thinking,
Which
oh, I
one?
got to get that. I got to learn that.
Which
I got to get
one?
in. I'm going to do that. This is going to be really good. I'm going to get that book. And thanks to Amazon's buy it now habit,
Oh god, that
you know,
thing
20
is
seconds later, I got it coming.
yeah.
And then it shows up. I'm like, oh yeah, here's my book. Bunk. And it sits there and like, I'm going to read that
Yeah.
someday. And, but
Well,
you don't hear
eventually.
that voice. And yeah, so every night I go to bed, I look at my nightstand. I'm like, oh yeah, there's that book.
Yeah. I
And I
think
pick it up and I can see the dust area because I haven't cleaned off the dirt. I can see how long
I
it's
think
been sitting there.
how long it's been there, the big square,
Like, oh, that's
the
a
one area that
sign.
has it. Yeah. Damn. This is a disappointing and unexpected
Mm.
mirror for my personality. Um,
Yeah, they
I
show up all too often.
I think the difference, because I think about this, I thought about this a lot. Like, what is the difference between somebody who will actually sit down and read and will not? And I don't know for other people, but with me, like, what's the difference between the phases of my life where I actually sit down and I want to read a physical book and I actually do
Hmm.
it, and the phases where I just buy books and don't touch them? And it's it's a it's a it's the vision aspect. So you know how you visualize stuff
Hmm.
all the time?
Hmm.
It's that, like, when I have a positive experience with a book in that spot on that couch, like, having that spot on that couch where I read the book, it's like it's a place that's safe and free, there are no notifications, I'm learning something or I always learning something because I don't let myself read fantasy anymore. So, like, because I have that positive association now, then when I start to get anxious or overwhelmed by notifications or struggling trying to choose what thing to watch, I go, "Oh, you know where I never feel like this? With a book in my hands." So it becomes like a respite from the world. I think that's
Ah.
the difference. When it's not an obligation, but it's a like a spa retreat, you know what I mean?
Hmm. Hmm.
So it's not homework. It's it's a place I get to escape to. That's when
So you
it's
started
good.
reading at night.
Yeah, I still don't have a habit. But if I have time and Dan and I are not trying to spend time together, then that's what I end up doing. Yeah. Like I had insomnia last night because of the heat, and I took a bath and read Man's Search for Meaning in the bathtub.
How long were you in that bathtub?
I was in the bathtub for a while. But oh, I got a weed
Is that good
card.
for your skin?
No, so I try not to stay in there for too long. I read more
What's
out
too
of
long?
I wasn't in there for very long. I don't I'm a quick bather. I probably 10 minutes.
Oh, okay. I thought it was going to be
And then
longer
I
than that.
read and then I read in outside of the bathtub because I'm paranoid about my skin becoming super wrinkly and dry. So I put a lot of lotion on. Anyway, I don't want to have
Your
skin
Aunt
like
Raymond
yours,
will be
Dad.
glad to hear that. I don't
We
blame
have
you.
the same same skin type, so, um, damn it, reading. I had a thing and I thought I was gonna take
Reboot,
us in a
reboot.
direction.
It's reloading, but it's going really slow. The
Uh,
connection must be bad.
it's going so slow. I can't remember. I can't remember at all. Weed. So I got a weed card, for I've been having if I drink caffeine, I have crazy period cramps. Like,
Okay.
fetal position, don't move, period cramps. Plus, it sounds fun. So I got a weed card and, it's the weed that we have,
What is a weed card?
incredible. It's a medical card so you can legally
How do you do
purchase
that?
weed.
Do you go to the doctor and say, "Hey, I want a weed card"?
No, they have a bunch of websites, so if it's allowed in your state, then you go to a website like VeraHeal, is where we went, and then you, have an appointment with a doctor virtually, and then you get a weed card for $200, yeah. And then you can go to
That's a
dispensaries and
racket.
get stuff. I know. It's brilliant because it's the arbitrage of the difference between federal and state. So you have to get it, but it's decriminalized. So you have to have a license, but it's decriminalized. So there's no
So
there
if you get
and
pulled over and you've got the card and you've
right,
got pot,
then
you're
you're
not
fine.
busted.
Right. And weed, you can't overdose from weed. Like it's almost impossible or maybe actually impossible to overdose from weed. There are like no negative physical side effects. So from a doctor's perspective, you're like, "All right, so
It's pretty safe. Who cares?
I can it's a safe substance, but you need to go through me to get it. I'll just make a bunch of money off of 5-minute phone calls." So it's like $200 for a 5-minute phone call essentially. So you do
Mhm.
like however you do like, I don't know.
Yeah,
Let's say
just
you
think how many of those you could do in a day.
so many. Yeah, we asked, we're like, "How many calls do you do in a day?" And they were like, "So many." They are making bank. They just laughed.
Ka-ching!
They really were like, "A lot."
You know,
Like, I can't even
there's
count it.
there's gotta be a back end admin to that where they actually have to create a patient record and take a few notes and store the
They have
record
to
and
do the paperwork, but it's the same paperwork.
so
You just switch the Social Security number and the name, and then you submit it to the state. But
yeah,
because you're a
I agree.
company that does that,
I'm
it's
just
all
saying
streamlined.
it's never as it's never on the
Yeah, there's
sweet
definitely
deal that it
overhead
looks like it is.
costs, but let's say even that, okay? Even with the overhead costs,
Yeah, that's
it's a
crazy.
5-minute phone call per person max, and there are 60 minutes and an hour. Then 60 divided by
12
5
times.
is right. So right, because there are 12 hours in the day. That's sorry. I wish I had smoked weed before this
Did
so I can make it an excuse, but yeah. So 12 times you do that, 12 times an hour, 12 times 200 is 2,400, right?
yeah, an
Oh, okay,
hour.
good. An hour, 2,400 an hour
That's gross.
on
Times.
and then
If you could do it
yeah.
for 10 hours, the math
Well,
would be
this
2,400 an
company
hour times
well,
10
this company
hours.
does it almost 24/7, maybe 24/7. So they hire out doctors to do each one. So I don't know how they split the money, but they have income coming through the whole day. It's a brilliant business
That's
model.
crazy.
Yeah, you can set times like 1:30 AM for your phone call.
That's a business.
That's a business. I know when I saw this, I was like, "Oh, I wish I had known this arbitrage before," because it's pretty simple to set up. You just have to connect all the pieces.
Well, you have friends that are doctors,
I do. I have
don't
a
you?
friend. I have a friend that's a doctor, and I know people from college, but that's it. Anyway, great business.
There you go.
And great for insomnia, that's what I was trying to say. So, it
Yeah,
was
so back to the fetal position,
yeah, but period cramps, it
cramping.
wasn't that much of an impact, but the waking up super hot and then not being able to get back to sleep and just giving up. So, like, waking up at 2:30 trying to sleep for 2 hours, not touching a screen or anything. 2 hours later,
Mhm.
I'm still awake and so awake. I'm just angry. I I did a half a weed a third of a weed gummy, and
Mhm.
in 45 minutes I was out and I slept soundly until it
Is
was
that a
time to wake up.
CDB gummy?
No, it's a gummy. It's like a weed gummy. I gave one to mom.
I
Did
didn't
she
know
tell
she
you?
liked it.
She
Mhm.
loved it. It's great for hot flashes. When I did that
She
last
did
night, I
like
was
a
like,
quarter of a
"No
she
wonder
cut it
she
in
loves this."
fourths, I think.
Yeah. It's
And, what's
I feel like
funny is that
menopause is gonna be so much easier with weed.
I don't know. We'll find out. You can try to talk your mom into that. I met a guy at the dog park, or actually, we've become decent friends. Could take our dogs at the same time, and he's an older guy, a little bit older than me, and he basically kind of shyly said, "Well, I've got this issue, and I've started taking CDB gummies or something like that, THC gummies, CBD.
See,
I don't know."
CBD, it has none of the psychoactive effects.
Okay, so he's taking something like that, and he said, "I know that sounds bad, but I like them. They work."
Yeah.
I
Well,
said, "Funny you brought that up because my wife just took one quarter of one last night, and she actually, because she struggles to sleep with
hot flashes.
uh, hot flashes, and she slept great.
Yeah.
And I think she did it again last night, and she slept great last night.
Yeah.
So
I knew that some women in
more power to
menopause
you.
really liked it. I didn't realize it was that powerful over the it's I think it's partly because of it's so relaxing. So
I
it's
don't
a
know,
muscle
maybe.
relaxant and a
I do
psychoactive
think it's
relaxant.
sad that
So,
we, things get politicized so much, and
yeah.
we create these moral traps or moral boundaries based on assumptions or based on whatever.
Mhm.
Um, I would much, I would have I don't know. My point is that I'm not getting out of it anyway. Is that alcohol would scare me a lot more than
Yeah.
pot.
Amen. No
If
one
not
gets
for
in a
the
fight because they had too much pot, you know what I mean? You can be an angry drunk, but you're not an angry pothead.
no, no. Although I think you're more likely to space off or fall asleep driving.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably.
So
As
I
we
don't think
experienced when I drank that beverage that had THC in it and I didn't know. Remember that?
yeah, it's the worst driving thing I've ever seen. I was
I
like,
drove
what
you
is up with you?
I drove us home. I hadn't eaten, and we went to the liquor store, and I was like, "This is so cool. Look at this. It's a beverage with
This
CBD.
sounds
This is
great.
gonna be great." I downed it. Half of it. I only drank half
That
of
was
it.
not with me. That was before I got in the car. I knew nothing about it. You were just driving like crap.
And then we
I didn't know
drove
anything
home,
about it.
and I was
I'm
like,
like,
"It's alright." And it was green, and I wouldn't go, and you were like, the light has turned." And
there's
I
something
was
wrong
like
with you. I think I said, you're
floating
like,
between
why?
lanes, and I was like, "I'm doing
You're,
good. I don't know. I'm fine."
yeah, you're not
Because I thought it
particularly
was
paying attention to where the lines are on the road or where the other people are at on the road. You
do
have the
not
social
drive by.
responsibility to like play well with others, and you're not really
Uh-uh.
too concerned about them, right?
I
It
wasn't
kind of
worried at
scared
all.
me.
I mean, I was chill. And we get home and I was like, "What is wrong?" And then I didn't finish that drink. The next day I read the bottle and it says CBD beverage. And then on the back it says 10% THC or something like that, which is the
Yeah, don't
psychoactive
drink and
part.
drive.
That yeah. Yeah. So that was a good
It
lesson.
was so funny because we got she pulled in and we were like, "Oh, glad that's over."
Yeah.
What? Uh, what did I do? And I said, "Well, remember at that intersection, you were on the outside lane, but you turned into the inside lane, and remember at the end, you're like, oh wow, did I really do that?"
Yeah, I
I
was
think it
not
was the
with
next
it.
day that you came back and go, "I figure out what happened yesterday."
It was, yeah, it was the next day because I had the bottle in the fridge, and then I read it, and I went, "Oh,
Yeah, you had it before we went to do our thing, whatever it was we were doing, something real estate related, I think.
oh, so I bought it without you? I thought we were leaving the liquor
No,
store."
nope, I wasn't with
Okay,
you. It must have been somebody else because
well,
we just
whatever.
you and I ran to went on some. like want to show a property or do a listing or something. And
Ugh.
yeah, I don't know what happened, right?
And that's What the Friday. Hey,
It's a
I
good
was
start.
thinking we should I have an idea I have an idea I wanna record. I would think we should make up a, theme song for What the Friday that's all us just singing a cappella bullshit.
Okay, I can
Um,
do that.
but I don't know what it would be. I just thought it was kind of something you'd be really good at.
What if we do it like, what the Friday? What the
Friday,
Friday?
what
What
the
the Friday? What the Friday? What the
the Friday.
Friday? What the Friday? What the Friday? What the what?
That's really good.
What the Friday? What the Friday?
What
What
the
the Friday?
Friday, what
What
the
the Friday?
Friday,
What
what the
the Friday?
Friday,
What
what
the
the
Friday? What's
what
the
the
Friday? What's the
what the
Friday? What's the
Friday.
what?